Good evening and welcome to another episode of My Fiber Fun. As promised, I am back with the mail call. Okay, but before we get to that, the preliminaries. Here it is. I'm getting ready to, I had the frog. I started my fall shawl with the bag a day yarn, and so this is the first color. I had to frog it, so Anonymous in California, if you're watching this, yes, I ended up frogging it. We've been discussing this yarn. She has some too, and she was telling me what she loved about it and what she didn't quite like, and I told her we're both on the same page with that. It's a 4-weight yarn. It's classified as 4-weight, but it's very, very light and airy. This, I would say, is more of a 3-weight yarn. I mean, it may be classified as 4, but to me, it's a good 3, bad 4. Let's put it that way. But as far as how it works up, it doesn't peel. It doesn't. It crochets smoothly. It's a yarn that I would use again, actually, but I think that they should, the makers of it, I know her name is on there, Krista's name is there, and the colors are just stunning, because I had gotten to the second color of the variegation in it, and I'm going to show you the yarns in a minute. But anyway, I think that my only complaint is I think they should change it to either a 3-weight or a DK weight. It's really, if you think of Red Heart, for instance, here's some Red Heart. This is a 4-weight. And see the difference? And this is an old Red Heart that I happen to have pulled out. Not for this comparison, but since it's here. Oops, excuse me. But if I compare the two, you can look and tell it's a difference. Oops, now I'm pulling the Red Heart. But it's a total difference in the, I'm looking at it. I can see it, with the naked eye, but I'm hoping you can see it here on the screen. But as far as softness is concerned, drape, and of course, my fall shawl, because when I showed it to you on Sunday, I had begun it. I was using a size, it calls for a size, let me make sure I get this right. Here comes the magoos. And these are going to be gotten rid of real soon. I just haven't had a chance yet. That's part 2 of the preliminary. Okay, it says that it's a 4 medium weight. And I cannot, wait, flashlight. Listen, when you're dealing with farsightedness, I'm learning. Flashlight. Okay. Magoos. It calls for a size H. Wait, I think it calls for a size H. Yes, H. Okay, and that's the size I was using for this, an H. Well, I initially chained 200 and of course I'm doing the diamond mesh because I hurried up and frogged that double crochet. That was going to take me forever and a day to do. It was just working up so slowly because of the thinness of the yarn. If it was a thicker yarn, it would have worked up quicker, and the stitches didn't stand as tall as they would normally do, like with Red Heart or any other thicker 4-weight yarn. And so I said, oh no, we got to change this. So I went back to my trusty, because y'all know I love my diamond mesh stitch. I don't care what I'm making. If it's a different color, it doesn't matter. I will go, that is my go-to stitch for shawls. And I mean, I've done other shawls. In fact, I have a shawl I'm looking at now, a prayer shawl that's done in a whole different, it was from Creative Grandma, one of her shawl tutorials and it was for a prayer shawl. I have the reading shawl. I've done that, and that's the one I gave away to my older sister's niece. What's another one I've done? I've done, the other mesh, the square mesh. So I've done various shawls, but that diamond mesh, that's the one I'm hooked on. right now. And that's because remember I said that I had raffled off all the other ones I had, because I had like 4 or 5 of them, because they're just so easy, quick, and simple, and they're absolutely beautiful. So with this, believe me, if none other, the diamond mesh is going to look good with this fall shawl. Okay, so I had to frog it because I initially chained my regular 220 chains to start it, because that's usually the length that I go with, and that makes it extra long. That 220 had it to about here. I was like, oh no, I need more. So then I took it up to 300. Can you believe that was still too short? It was almost comparable to maybe chaining 150 or 180. So that's why I frogged it. I had gotten up to row 15, and California Anonymous, she saw a photo of it and everything. I showed it to her, and I was like, this still isn't long enough. Then I was like, but I'm going to leave it because I've gotten up to row 15. I couldn't stand it, you guys. Couldn't stand it. So I took it down. So I'm about to start it over, and I'm a chain, because I did my measurements too. At 220, it measured to 57 inches. I wanted at least 72. So I'm thinking if I chain it to either, because I was at no, that wasn't 220, that was 300 that got it to 57. So I figure 400 will get it to 72 inches. So I'm going to just chain 400, because it's going to take that much. And I have enough yarn to do that. So it's not going to be too long, and like how that other one was, and it's not going to be too short either, because I want it to where it can wrap, be worn as a shawl, worn as a scarf, worn as a snood. And I'm naming it the From Life to Death, Birth to Death Leaf. I forgot. It's a name I came up with it, but it's the Life of a Leaf shawl. The Life of a Leaf diamond mesh shawl. So the green here is actually going to be the border, because I could actually start it with this green, because when a leaf is alive, it's actually green. And then, since it changes color here, that would be perfect for when the fall leaf is about to change. And this is California Anonymous and we were texting earlier, because I was like, should I start it with the green or should I border it with the green? I'm thinking that I should just border it with the green. And then that way the border of it shows the life of the leaf before it died. So then, because I really like this burgundy, so then the second color, when leaves change in Michigan, and I'm thinking about Michigan, when our leaves begin to change, actually they start to kind of yellow. So I thought about bringing this color in second, bringing this color in first for the yellowing leaf. But I said, nope, I'm going to stick with the burgundy. So you have the darker, and then it begins to lighten up. Okay, then after it turns burgundy, sometimes our leaves will begin to turn orange. Then from orange, they begin to turn brown. And this is how our leaves do, but they be like all different colors. When we're in peak, those of you in Michigan know about peak, and when the leaves start to turn, though, I know everybody don't have the 4 seasons, but we have true 4 seasons here in Michigan. So fall is our most beautiful time. Most people, that's their favorite time of year. I hate it because it means summer is gone and winter is coming. But I must admit, fall is absolutely gorgeous here. In fact, I might do a drive this fall, probably usually around the end of October is when we're at peak. It is absolutely beautiful. And the area that I live in, we have some beautiful peak leaves and whatnot before they begin to just start falling off the tree. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and then when the leaf eventually dies, then that's when the yellowing comes in. So I'm going with these 4 colors. So it's going to be a big shawl, y'all. It's going to be a big shawl. I might not use the full skein. It all depends. I figure if I'm going to try to go like 35 or 30 rows with each, because this was half you know, and it's half a thing. So this is 15. So it may take the whole thing. I'm not sure, but I'll go like 30 rows with each 30, 60, 90, 100, 10, 20. 120 rows will be plenty. So that's what I'm doing. So stay tuned because I will be showing you this once it's finished, and it's going to work up fast now. And I went up a couple of hook sizes. I went up to a J. H isn't going to get it, although it was pretty, but I went up to a J, and I'm thinking I may still be able to get away with 300 with the larger hook because I went from an H to a J up 2 hook sizes. So I still may be able to just chain the 300 and still be able to go with that because I did change the hook size. And it's going to work up quick because even with the H, it worked up very quick. So, okay, so enough of that. Okay, now on to the mail call. The preliminaries are done. Bing! And I'm singing Renee's song again. I've already opened it because I forgot, and I was like, oh, I need to film this. So here it is. It's mail call. It's mail call. Look what I got in the mail today. It's mail call. It's mail call. I'm so happy today. Bing! Here it is, you guys. Here it is. And let's open her up. And you know what? This is weird, y'all. Now, this came all the way from California. That's where it was ordered from. Anything hippie? Yep, you better be looking at California. But anyway, and you know what? It's a hippie store where all my little hippie signs came from. And I started to go this past Saturday, but I was too tired after going to the farmer's market. This Saturday, I may pay a visit, or this Friday, rather. I may pay a visit to the hippie store because I haven't been there in, it's been at least 2 years, just to see if they have any new signs. It's a hippie store at our flea market that I've gone to, and it's right next to Pelly's where I get my peppers and stuff. So look forward to that video. But here it is, you guys. This is the bike bell. Oh, okay, and it's gonna fit right on my thing. I need a screwdriver. That's why I haven't hooked it up yet. It's gonna fit right here. Hold on, let me show you. Now the module is gonna be on this one, the right side. So we'll put it on the left side over here where you see my hand tapping. That's where this is gonna be, because I doubt if I'm gonna have to use this bell any. So let's see if it works, because this is my first time testing it. And it's okay. It is metal. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay. I like this. Okay, so this is going to go on, and you've already seen it. I just hate it so small because it looked bigger. It actually looked bigger when I put the picture, but anybody who looks at it will see. And you know what? There's room for like an extra one. I might go on and get that happy face one because that one will be on the black face of it, because I could have chosen any color. I chose black for this. I didn't want a white bell because I didn't think this would show up good. They had like red. I think that might have looked good. But then my walker is black, so that's why I chose the black. But anyway, yeah, so this is really cute. This is really cute. And so that's my first piece of bling, and I'm going to put that, no, I'm going to wait. Simply because, first of all, the Cadillac emblem, and that's what I was getting ready to say, and I got off into something else. This was actually scheduled coming from California. This was scheduled to come on Thursday. It came 2 days early. Well, the Cadillac emblem was scheduled to arrive on today, the 2nd of September. And guess what? It got delayed by 2 days. So the Cadillac emblem is in Indianapolis right now. So it will be here on Thursday. I called the CareLink people again today, and I told them, don't pass go, don't go to jail, don't do nothing. I want to speak to a manager. So they put me on the phone with Miss Liz, and Miss Liz gave me her extension and everything. Come to find out, see, and I told her, I was like, everybody's been lying. I don't know who to believe or what. And I explained to her what was happening. She was like, I can tell you what happened. She's like, number one. She was like, no one. And then on top of that, but see, I wrote down names, including Christine, but we left her out of it. I told her, we're not going to fault Christine. I said, because although Christine did tell me the day that it was ordered and paid for, that it was going to arrive that day. And that's what started the whole thing. But that was a simple mistake. I'm not going to blame Christine because I really wasn't dealing with her anymore. I talked to her one more time when the one guy called, and I had tried to call her and couldn't get through to her. And then the one guy called and she picked up, but she was at lunch and stuff. But even then, she went above and beyond to talk to them, and then got a lie and all that stuff. So I'm not faulting her, but the rest of them, oh no. So I wrote names. And I read every name off to the manager, and she's right there in Madison Heights. She said, I noticed none of them left the note. She was like, every phone call, you're supposed to note it, the time of the phone call, the regard. She's like, you are supposed to note that phone call. I was like, well, they didn't note it. And when I gave her the name, she know I had talked to these people because these are her employees. She was like, oh, it's not going to be pretty when we hang up. She said, but what they were supposed to tell you from the very beginning, she said, when you ordered it, she said, and she even said, Christine probably didn't know because Christine works out of the Grand Rapids office, not the Madison Heights. But per their training in Madison Heights, a whole 2 hours away, she said they know that the module or any other item that has to come from the Grand Rapids location, they are usually sent out and they usually arrive every Thursday. I said, I was told that last Thursday. I said, but the point is, I was lied to a million times before then. They kept telling me it was going to come, and I felt like I was hostage in my home. And I had appointments, and it's stressful, and I was like, and I said, just give me a refund. Because I said, if we can't get this right, just give me a refund. And yes, I'm trying to show off my friend's shirt. He's running for mayor in Pontiac. His name is Mike. And so, yep. So I'm showing off his shirt. I'm on his campaign thing, and they gave me this a couple of weeks ago, so I'm wearing it today. Okay, anyway, so where was I? Okay, so what they were supposed to do was they were supposed to let me know immediately that it's been, since it was ordered. Now, this would have been the following day when they didn't show up Monday, and that was through Christine, who wouldn't have known. But Tuesday, when I called, because it was a no-call, no-show, instead of them saying, oh, it's coming today, because that's what they did. They did that all week, stalling me along. They were supposed to tell me right then and there that it had been ordered from Grand Rapids and that the truck would arrive on Thursday, but to allow up to 2 weeks because it has to be processed through Grand Rapids. So Liz did check on today, and she said it has been processed. She says, so I guarantee you it should arrive to the Madison Heights office this Thursday. She said it wouldn't have arrived last Thursday because it was ordered on Monday, and then the order has to be, with it being processed. She said usually that takes about 5 days because it has to go through all the channels to be processed. She says, so they should have been telling you it would be about 2 weeks. I said, but I'm calling. I said, I've been calling every day because they continued to just send me right down the rabbit hole with this. I was like, and I was to the point now, give me my money back and I'll just order it from the company. And so she explained that she told me to call her first thing Thursday. And she said, I'm noting right here to make sure that it's on the truck. She said, because it is scheduled to go out. She said, she said, depending on what time that truck arrives on Thursday to the Madison Heights, she said, usually the trucks go out at about 6 in the morning, 6 or 7. So with that being a 2-hour drive, and you have to add for extra minutes depending on the location of the company and then the location of the company in Madison Heights. So that might can tap on an extra hour. So if it arrives, let's say at 11 o'clock, they deliver until 7 in the evening. So she said it's a good possibility. She said 9 times out of 10, you will get it on Thursday. She said if not, it should be no later than Friday. So she said, and the other thing they should have told you is once the part arrives, then the stock manager always calls the customer to set up the appointment for them to deliver it. She was like, they always do that. I said, that was done with the walker. I was like, that's why I knew something wasn't right. I said, because when I received the walker, I said, it was Christina who actually called me, but she set up the appointment, and then it was for the next day. She told me what time, and that first thing that morning, I got a text saying that James was going to be delivering the walker, and he would be here between the hours of 10 and 12, and that he was. It went so smoothly, no complaints whatsoever. It was wonderful. This time, it's been just a big bungle, okay? And so she was like, no, they're in trouble. She said, when she was like, and why they would do that, I don't know. She said, I think they were stalling and assuming whatever. I was like, and y'all should be knocking some off of this for my inconvenience. So we'll see. But anyway, so yep. So I should expect a call. She said until that stock guy called to set up the delivery, she said, then it's not in. I said, and that's all I needed to know. I said, because if they hadn't done that, I could have went on about my business last week. I said, I had a lot to do. I had appointments. I said, I was just held hostage in my home. I said, if it was something that I just didn't have to do, I said, I stayed home. I said, but I had other things to do. And I felt like I was being held hostage. I was like, and then I'm mad because I'm being lied to about it and being told it's going to be today. And then you're looking forward to it, getting up early and making sure you're dressed, showered, and all that. And then they no call or anything. And she was like, of course, they're not going to call because they knew they weren't supposed to tell you that. So here we are. So now, and I had already given them to Thursday. I didn't tell her that, but remember I was telling y'all, I give them until this Thursday. And if it's not here by this Thursday, then I said I was going to call the call for action. But no, if it's not here by this Thursday, then I will ask for the refund. And I did tell her that. I said, if we can't get this straight, I said, because I think Thursday is long enough. I said, you're telling me that it's all done and everything. I said, no, I don't want to wait that much longer. She was like, yeah, you should have been prioritized, especially since you paid out of pocket. Now, it's different with insurance, because sometimes you have to go through different things, with that. But when you're paying out of pocket, that should have been almost immediate. She said, if you were in Grand Rapids, excuse me, she said you would have gotten it on the same day. She says, so Christina probably, I keep calling her Kristen. Christina is Christine. She said Christine probably thought that the Madison Heights location works the exact same way as the Grand Rapids, that maybe they had it in stock there and would deliver it to you that day. So maybe not, because with the walker, that's how it was. The walker was in stock at Madison Heights. And so the day she called me, she told me what would happen, and everything went fine with that. That very next day I had it. And so, and I didn't get a call from the stock man, but Christine had did the calling. But then I got a text from the stock man that next morning letting me know who my driver would be, which was James. And he said that, and he told me what time he would be here. And then James himself called when he was on his way. He was at a home in Waterford, and he said, I'm about 5 minutes away. He said, is it okay for me to come now? I said, yes. I said, the whoever texted me said you would be here between 10 and 12. So he ended up coming. It was about 10:30-ish when he came. So sure enough, in 10 minutes, he was pulling up in this big giant truck that took up half our block. But anyway, nevertheless, he did it. Okay, so we'll see what happens Thursday. Now I feel like I'm rambling. Okay, so I'm going to get off of here. It's starting to get dark. What time is it? It's horrible. It's dark now, before 8 o'clock. It's like every day it's getting dark sooner and sooner. I'm looking at the time. It's only 6:49, but it's starting to cloud up. So today got hot. It was like 80 degrees here. And you know, we've been in the 50s and 60s for the past week. And I'm coughing, sneezing, and everything. It's just tearing me up because of this back and forth. So it's supposed to be warm tomorrow once again. And then Thursday, the bottom falls out again. It's supposed to rain all day because I wanted to go fishing by the end of this week. So anyway, it's supposed to rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's supposed to only be in the 50s. So I can get ready for that and start using the light again and all that stuff. So we'll see how it happens, and hopefully next week I'll be able to go fishing. I'm looking at this. Wait, it almost looked like a Caroline truck. I was ready to say they better not be showing up. Okay, let me get off of here because I'm getting silly now. So I'm going to get off, and I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to get started on my blanket, and I should pull that light out with this darker yarn. But anyway, I should be okay with my sun simulating lamp, because it's dark. It's getting dark in here, and it's only 6:50 p.m. Michigan time. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later. You have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on Thursday, because if everything goes the way that it's supposed to go, the bell will be on, the Cadillac emblem will be on, and hopefully the audio modulator thing will be on, so I can show you the full Walker in its glory, the Cadillac. And then I'm thinking about, they have some fox leather streamers, and they're black, to go into the end of my handlebar. I'll think about it. I said I wasn't going to do it, but then a friend of mine on Facebook said, you need to do it, do it, do it. So I'm thinking about it. I may order them just to have them, but I thought about, because the end of my thing here, it does glow in the dark. I did a short on that, but I didn't post it up. But yes, this glows in the dark, at the back. So I thought about buying some streamers, some cheap ones, and then taking them off and then doing some glow yarn streamers. I thought about that. Since it glows at the bottom, it could glow at the top too. I don't know. I'll come up with something, but I'm not through blinging it. Then I'm going to get a mirror for it, and that'll be it. And I think that'll be enough. I don't want to over bling it, but I want it blinged enough to where I like it. Alrighty. So I think the Cadillac emblem is going to be the showstopper with this thing, because it's gold, and then the Walker itself is black and everything, and then my bell is colorful. But you know, really, they'll be able to see it if they look at it, or if I point it out, or if I ring it or something like that, then they'll see it there. But the Cadillac emblem, on the other hand, actually it's going to be two in there. So I said I would put one across the top bar if it works that way, and then one at the bottom. So you'll see it. Okay, talk to you later, and may God bless you all. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.